Could coffee be affecting your sexual performance? Many men enjoy their daily cup of joe, but drinking too much coffee might be causing problems in the bedroom, especially for men over 50. As men age, their bodies become more sensitive to things that can affect sexual health, like caffeine. Coffee is one of the most popular drinks in the world, but too much of it can impact hormones, blood flow, and other important factors that control how well a penis works. Just like how coffee wakes up the brain and body, it also has effects on sexual function that every man should know about. Caffeine is a powerful substance that changes how the body works. Most people know it keeps them awake and alert, but few realize how it affects their intimate health. In men over 50, the body is already going through natural changes that can make getting and keeping erections more difficult. Adding too much coffee to the mix can make these challenges even worse. The way coffee affects sexual health starts with hormones. Think of hormones as chemical messengers that tell different parts of the body what to do. One of these hormones is cortisol, which the body releases when under stress. When someone drinks a lot of coffee, their cortisol levels go up. High cortisol is like a bully that pushes down testosterone, the hormone that controls sex drive and strong erections. Every time someone drinks more than 4 cups of coffee a day, their body produces extra cortisol. This is especially true for older men, whose testosterone levels are already naturally lower. The more coffee they drink, the more cortisol builds up and the harder it becomes for their body to make enough testosterone. This can lead to a drop in sex drive and make it harder to get firm erections. But that is not the only way coffee affects sexual health. The caffeine in coffee is also a vasoconstrictor, which means it makes blood vessels tighter and smaller. Think of blood vessels as tiny pipes that carry blood to every part of the body. When these pipes get smaller because of too much coffee, less blood can flow through them. Since a strong erection needs good blood flow to the penis, drinking too much coffee can make it harder to get and keep an erection firm enough for sex. The biggest problem with drinking too much coffee comes from how it affects sleep. Most testosterone is made while sleeping, especially during deep sleep. When someone drinks coffee late in the day or has too much of it, they might have trouble falling asleep or staying asleep. Poor sleep means the body cannot make enough testosterone, which leads to more sexual problems. Have you noticed feeling less interested in sex after a night of bad sleep? This is because testosterone levels drop when sleep is disrupted. Regular coffee drinkers often do not realize how much their sleep is affected by caffeine. Even drinking coffee in the afternoon can make it harder to get good sleep at night. This is because caffeine can stay in the body for many hours. For men over 50, getting good sleep is extra important because their bodies already make less testosterone than younger men. Research shows that men who drink more than 5 cups of coffee each day are more likely to have problems with erections and sex drive. These men often feel tired, have less energy for sex, and find it harder to get and keep erections firm enough for sex. The combination of high cortisol, poor blood flow, and bad sleep creates a perfect storm that can harm sexual health. Some men try to fix their sexual problems by drinking more coffee, thinking it will give them more energy for sex. But this actually makes things worse. More coffee means more cortisol, which leads to even lower testosterone. It also means even worse sleep, which makes it even harder for the body to make the testosterone needed for good sexual function. The effects of too much coffee can build up over time. At first, someone might not notice any problems, but after weeks or months of drinking too much coffee, they might start to see changes in their sexual health. These changes can include taking longer to get an erection, having softer erections that do not last as long, or feeling less interested in sex. The good news is that these effects can often be reversed by cutting back on coffee and making some simple changes to daily habits. It is important to know that coffee is not all bad for sexual health. In fact, small amounts of coffee can actually help improve blood flow and energy levels. Studies show that 1 to 2 cups of coffee per day might help blood vessels work better, which can make it easier to get erections. Coffee also contains helpful plant compounds called antioxidants that can protect blood vessels from damage. The key is finding the right amount of coffee for each person. What works well for one man might be too much for another. Age, weight, overall health, and how sensitive someone is to caffeine all play a part in how coffee affects their body. Most health experts say that 2 to 4 cups of coffee per day is safe for most men and might even be good for their health. Many people believe some wrong things about coffee and sexual health. One common myth is that coffee always helps sexual performance because it gives more energy. While a small amount of coffee can help, too much does more harm than good. Another myth is that coffee's effects on sexual health only last for a few hours. The truth is that drinking too much coffee can cause problems that last much longer, especially if it becomes a daily habit. Leave a comment below with your experience on this matter. Your story could help another man going through the same situation. Some people think decaf coffee is completely safe and cannot affect sexual health, but even decaf coffee has some caffeine in it. Drinking large amounts of decaf coffee, especially late in the day, can still make it harder to sleep well. Remember, good sleep is needed to make testosterone and keep sex drive strong. Have you ever noticed feeling less interested in sex after drinking coffee all day long? Another mistake people make is thinking that energy drinks or coffee drinks with added supplements are better for sexual health than regular coffee. These drinks often have more caffeine than regular coffee, plus other stimulants that can make sexual problems worse. They can also raise blood pressure and heart rate, which is risky for older men. Many men do not know that medications for high blood pressure, diabetes, or heart problems can make them more sensitive to caffeine. When these medications are combined with too much coffee, the risk of sexual problems gets even higher. This is especially true for men over 50 who are more likely to take these kinds of medications. There are certain times when men need to be extra careful about their coffee intake. Men with high blood pressure should watch how much coffee they drink because caffeine can make blood pressure go up even more. This is also true for men with heart problems or anxiety, as too much coffee can make their symptoms worse and affect their sexual health. Men who have already noticed problems with their erections should pay special attention to their coffee habits. If getting or keeping erections has become harder lately, looking at daily coffee intake might help find the cause. Sometimes just cutting back on coffee can make a big difference in sexual performance. Have you been drinking more coffee than usual in the past few months? Stress is another factor that makes coffee's effects on sexual health worse. When someone is stressed, their body already makes more cortisol. Adding too much coffee on top of stress can push cortisol levels even higher, making sexual problems more likely. This is especially true for men over 50 who might be dealing with work stress, health concerns, or other life changes. Some health conditions can make men more sensitive to coffee's effects on sexual health. Men with diabetes need to be careful because caffeine can affect blood sugar levels, which can then affect sexual function. The same is true for men with thyroid problems, as caffeine can interfere with how thyroid hormones work in the body. Taking certain medications means being more careful with coffee intake. Blood pressure medications, antidepressants, and some heart medications can interact with caffeine in ways that affect sexual health. Some anxiety medications also do not mix well with coffee and can make sexual problems more likely. Coffee can affect sleep more strongly in older men, so those over 50 should be extra careful about when they drink it. Having coffee after 2 p.m. can make it harder to fall asleep at night, even if someone feels tired. Poor sleep not only affects testosterone levels, but can also make other health problems worse, creating a cycle that harms sexual health. Men who exercise regularly also need to think about their coffee intake. While a small amount of coffee before exercise can help with energy and performance, too much can cause dehydration. Being dehydrated makes it harder for blood to flow properly, which can affect erection strength and sexual performance. The good news is that most coffee-related sexual problems can be fixed with some simple changes. The first step is to slowly cut back on coffee intake. Instead of stopping all at once, which can cause headaches and make someone feel tired, it is better to reduce coffee by 1 cup each week. This gives the body time to adjust and makes it easier to stick with the changes. For better sexual health, it is best to keep coffee intake to 2 to 4 cups per day and stop drinking it at least 8 hours before bedtime. This helps make sure the caffeine is mostly out of the body by bedtime, allowing for better sleep and more testosterone production. Have you thought about switching your afternoon coffee to herbal tea? Making other healthy changes can also help protect sexual health. Drinking plenty of water helps counter coffee's dehydrating effects. Getting regular exercise improves blood flow and helps balance hormone levels. Eating healthy foods gives the body the nutrients it needs to make testosterone and keep blood vessels working well. Sleep is very important for fixing coffee-related sexual problems. Going to bed at the same time each night helps the body get into a good sleep pattern. Having a quiet, dark bedroom and avoiding screens for an hour before bed can make it easier to fall asleep and stay asleep all night. If someone has been drinking a lot of coffee for a long time, it might take a few weeks or months to see improvements in sexual health after cutting back. The body needs time to reset hormone levels and fix sleep patterns. During this time, it helps to keep track of any changes in sexual function and energy levels. Speaking with a doctor about coffee intake and sexual health is always a good idea, especially for men over 50 or those taking medications. A doctor can check if there are other health issues affecting sexual function and suggest specific changes that might help. Remember that good sexual health comes from taking care of the whole body. While watching coffee intake is important, it works best as part of an overall healthy lifestyle. This includes eating well, staying active, managing stress, and getting enough sleep. Making these changes might take some time and effort, but the improvements in sexual health and overall well-being are worth it. Like and subscribe if you're committed to becoming the healthiest version of yourself. Thanks for watching.